up, all my Dorks, Nerds, Geeks, and Gamers? It's your host, Ghost here, and you're watching a brand new episode of Dorks and Movie Minute. Today we're going to be discussing and reviewing Bob's Burgers, the movie. I do got to say I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, guys. I was not expecting the musical elements, even though it was marketed as a musical movie. I was expecting more musical elements, but the 3 songs that are actually in the movie, 2 out of 3 of them are bangers. I mean, like, they are really good. Sunny Side Up Summer, the opening song, fantastic. It gets stuck in your head right away. It's got that summer, smooth kind of beat to it. And hearing the characters sing in character worked really well for me, and I think it was really great. The other song, Lucky Ducks, one of my favorite songs of any animated movie so far. It's a great song. It's got a great point to it. And everything else about that as well. So that was the musical element of it. I definitely enjoyed it, and I know a lot of people didn't. They thought the songs dragged a little bit, but I didn't. I think they worked really well for what the movie was going for. I do gotta say this movie is very tame compared to a lot of other animated movies, because when you do an animated movie, you usually want to push the boundaries just a bit. Even with Simpson showing, Bart Simpson's wiener on screen, that was something totally crazy to see on screen, even though it's just a little line like this, and that's it. But yeah. But this one's very clean, very straightforward. There's a few jokes that are a little rough, but they're not like edgy in any means whatsoever. The storyline here is that there is a murder mystery. Someone gets killed 6 years ago. It gets buried in this hole in front of the Bob's Burgers restaurant. So when they have this rupture of the sewage line that shoots out this giant hole, Luis ends up finding the body, and this sets this big murder mystery on who killed this carny and who put the body there. And now all signs point to Mr. Fishoder, who is the guy with the eye patch, the older man from the series himself, who is the landlord of Bob and Linda. So he's basically stuck in this rock and a hard place, and the only people that can get him out of it is Bob's Burgers, is Bob and his family, which they end up doing by going on their own adventures and figuring out pieces start to come to them while they're solving their own problems. So yeah, it works really well. I like the way that each character has their own kind of storyline they're going with, and it kind of still wraps around into this murder mystery. One character that was a huge standout for me that I loved in this movie, just like I love him in the series, is Teddy. He is always hilarious, and every scene he's in steals the show, steals the whole movie usually, half the times. The one character I was a little bit disappointed in was Bob himself. This is Bob's Burgers, the movie, but it's not really about Bob at all. It's about his family, and there are moments where Bob gets to shine and be himself and be that father figure for the family, but usually it's mostly about the kids finding themselves and Linda trying to be a supportive wife, and this is mostly about Bob, going into depression and then pulling himself out of that depression. So it's very cool to see it the way it's done. The other thing I was not expecting as well for an animated movie was the awesome action sequences. There's this awesome car chase where they're actually underneath a pier. It looks beautiful, it works beautifully, the jokes are funny. I just wasn't expecting an action scene like that in the Bob's Burgers movie. The other thing was the motivations of the characters. And also the murder mystery itself. You can kind of piece together without even really watching the movie, because if you're paying attention in the very first half of the movie, then you're going to know who the actual murderer is right away. At least I did, because it was very obvious to see this character is not in the series, so maybe they're the one that did it. You know what I mean, sort of thing. But very well story. The story was done really well for what it was for being an animated movie. The movie was very fast-paced. The songs help push that pacing a little bit better. And the murder mystery is actually intriguing enough to be invested in somewhat. But yeah, great movie. I love the characters. I love the art. That's the one thing I didn't mention, was that this does look like an episode of Bob's Burgers like you would see on TV. The only difference is the contrast is pulled up just a little bit, so it pops just a bit, and the shadows are a little bit darker, so it's got that cinematic-ish feel to it. But certain scenes feel 100% like they just took it out of the show and didn't really do that adjustments and stuff like that, so it doesn't feel as cinematic. But there are cinematic moments, like I said, those action sequences and those musical numbers feel very cinematic, like something you could not see on the show ever if it was on TV. But yeah, that's just my thoughts, guys. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a great animated movie, and I hope they make more animated movies in this style. I'd love to see a Family Guy movie. I'd love to see a South Park movie sequel. I would love to see, there's tons of animated stuff I'd love to see movies too. But let me know down below what you guys thought of the Bob's Burgers movies. Did you guys enjoy it as much as I did? Like, subscribe, or share, and leave your comments down below. And until next time, guys, I've been your host, Ghost. Adios.